Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the most underrated and overrated brawlers in Brawl Stars right now, and specifically in ranked. So, if you guys wondering where the tier list is and the rank guide, that'll be in a couple of days. But I thought there was a few things I need to get off my chest. You know, the ranked season's been out for over a week now. There's been balance changes and everything like that. So, of course, the first underrated brawler on my list has to be Gus. Gus always goes through these periods where he's extremely underrated, and right now he absolutely is. So, in terms of the stats, you probably heard me talk about this before, but Gus was like in the top 5 in terms of picks and bans in World Finals. And then again, you got to consider a lot of brawlers around him got nerfs, and he's just going to get even better. So I didn't actually pick him in Heist, by the way. This is my teammate, but we managed to swap. But even in Heist, like, Gus is just so easy just to walk up and get 3 kills. The reason why Gus is so good is just due to the fact that his projectile is just so large. It's so easy to consistently hit shots. He does a lot of damage since the damage buff. I think it's like a 8%, 12%. I can't remember what the exact numbers were a couple of months ago, but it definitely spurred him back in the meta again. And of course, they led to a damage buff to his gadget. He just does insane damage. He's got a lot of versatility. He's got a gadget that can just get instant kills. And of course, if you run the gadget gear as well, you're just going to kill people like crazy. And he has a lot of HP, of course, for a sniper. He can go toe to toe with other snipers, and of course, being a support brawler as well, so much versatility to him. And yeah, you just look at this. Like, I'm just not lot slain pretty much the entire game. I can give a shield to my Colette. Colette can then walk up with a damage boost and just get a lot of control. Again, gotta be a little bit careful here. Yeah, I absolutely love Gus. I've always had like an obsession with Gus for years. Ever since he's been out, I've just known he's just such a versatile sniper. He can just do everything. Like, look at this. Like, look, how unfair is that? And then again, I'm one shot off my shield, and I should just be able to combine this with the Colette pretty soon. And then we're good to go. Unfortunately, this bowler is proven to be a little bit annoying. I've got to shield myself in. I don't think I've got the DPS to take her down, but literally 2 minutes full of control. No one able to take my lane whatsoever. We've got a 50% lead. We could definitely be having a bigger one here, but it will do for now. It will do for now. Okay, so we're in a bad position. Let's try take down the Lola here. I've got no more gadgets left, unfortunately. So at least... Okay, I'm hoping my teammates have got this right. Surely we got this. Surely we got this. Okay, we've got it. We've got it. We're good. We're good. We're good. I mean, that was pretty tense. I would not pick Gus in Heist, but I'll pretty much pick Gus everywhere. Bounty, Knockout, Brawl, Gem Carrier. He can do everything. You can see by the stats. As Gus, I always have the most damage, and you're a support brawler. Just going to show how good he is right now. I'd absolutely say he's S tier. I should have put him in my top 10 brawlers the other day. I tried not to let bias take me, but I don't think it's biased right now. Gus is absolutely one of the best brawlers in the game. Let's jump into the next one. Guys, jumping into the next underrated brawler on the list, I went with Berries. So the reason why I'm saying this is literally, if you guys know about that open business game in World Finals, then you know. And I think it's the Ring of Fire. It was the Ring of Fire, actually. It was the fact that Humble wanted to play this on open business, and I think Crazy Raccoon banned it. But trust me, Berry is insanely underrated. He did get a nerf with his supercharge rate, but people are acting like he's one of the worst brawlers in the game. But of course, a support thrower isn't exactly exciting to a lot of play base, right? They want to play someone like me, well, not like Miko, like Mortis, Kenji, up in your face Stu, those up in your face brawlers, but they don't really care about Berry. So I'm actually playing this pretty wrong. But of course, open business, Ring of Fire, there's so many good synergies with Berry. You just got to think, wherever Ball is good in, Berry's pretty much the same, if not better, because of his versatility. Again, I'm just going to run in spawn here, because at least my teammates should be able to get a bit of a kill back. I mean, we've got like 60% here, because most of the time my teammates can just sit on the zone. Even against like a Gale, for example, we've just got so much healing and so much firepower. Like, you just need like a Frank on your team, a Meg, combine it with any tank, and you're just good to go a lot of the time. So again, it's going to heal our Daryl up a little bit. Even with a Gale hypercharge, I think we're good here. A double hypercharge, okay, we're not good there, but 86%. I've been dying a lot of the time, but trust me, literally in the first game, we just ran it all over them because they just couldn't deal with the Berry heals. Again, I can just kill this Miko with my super. There's nothing that this Gale can do here. Just too much firepower, too much healing. Berry is definitely underrated. Like, again, I've played him a few times. I like Triple Dribble. I play him all the time. I'm Hot Zone. You think of maps like, I don't know, I'm thinking of Bounty as well. Canal Grande, he's pretty good. Just any barley map, Berry is just as good. Just make sure you've got to synergize it with a tank or something aggressive, and he can just get so much value. He's so good. You can see how good he was in World Finals. He completely carried humble to one of the wins because of how good he is with Meg, for example. So that's going to be another underrated. Let's hop into the final one. All right, guys, jumping into the final underrated brawler on the list. I went with Stu, and boy, did I want to put Stu in my top 5 brawlers. I think he's just so good in this meta. The hype charge has just put him to a new level. Of course, he got that HP buff, like, what is it, about 4 months ago? Which, again, the reason why it was overlooked was because they were just better brawlers with hype charges, etc. And they gave him a hype charge, which is absolutely disgusting. So it is literally like the Stu mutation, which you're just able to get a lot of pressure with. Of course, you're not going to get any crazy team wipes with, right? But you can get a lot of pressure. You can make some good plays and all of that good stuff. So, unfortunately, I think Amber's going to push up here. Let's try not let that happen. Okay, there we go. Good kill. And then there's a weak Otis down here. So let's just use our wall break there. Perfect. And yeah, Stu, the reason why Stu's so good is because he's really good against anti-tanks. So for that reason, he's always going to be good in the meta. And a lot of times it is just dependent on the Stu player. If the Stu player's got a low ping or just really good, then he's always going to make something happen. Okay, that Primo actually just did something. Last game, he just completely threw. I was surprised he actually went in there and did what a Primo should have done. So yeah, unfortunately, Otis has super here. And Otis, you know, secretly is okay into Stu just because of the outranges, but should be able to take him down there. I'm just going to go with a wall break just to try and surprise the... Okay, I'm just going to super kick that up as well. I managed to get the kill. But yeah, the hype charge itself, I've actually just loving right now. In every single game mode, I seem to get a lot of value. And I didn't even get to showcase just why the hype charge is good. Primo was just able to slot that in. Anyways, you just see right here, look at the damage that I was able to put out. This Primo wasn't even that good. He just had no high power brawlers. So I told him to go Primo first in draft, and then they picked 2 anti-tanks. I picked the Stu. I know I've got a good matchup there. I can just carry. So yeah, that's just how it went. So that's going to be all of the underrated. Let's hop into the overrated now. All right, guys, now jumping into the overrated brawlers, starting off with Piper. So Piper always, again, goes through these periods where she's often overrated a lot of the time, mainly because people just think they can hit a lot of shots with Piper, and they just can't. The reason why I think she's fallen off a little bit in the meta, like, she's still really good, right? Again, just because a brawler, I think personally, is overrated doesn't mean they're trash. Again, I think it's because other snipers are just a little bit better, just more versatile and just easier to connect shot with. So I would only use Piper really to counter other sharpshooters, you know, like Byron, like I don't know, like Bell maybe. But even then, I feel like a lot of brawlers still have a decent matchup into Piper. It is difficult, right? Because a good Piper will absolutely take over the game. But again, I still don't think she's like nowhere near as broken as some comments think. Like, for example, a lot of the time if I miss Piper out of my top 10 or I don't recommend playing her, everyone just questions Piper straight away. Like, again, she can be good. She can definitely be good. She's definitely that type of brawler in ranked anyways. Like, if you're a good player, you should probably opt for a brawler like Piper because she's a big carry brawler. But again, I would rather just go in terms of draft. I'd rather be more safe and go Gus, Byron, Angelo. Even on longer range maps, I would rather go like a Mandy who will beat Piper in a 1v1. Nani counters Piper a little bit too easily on those longer range maps. So there are those counters to Piper right now. I haven't even needed to use any of my gadgets just yet. I mean, I may as well just use one against Surge. You know what? Got to be a bit careful here. I'm just going to break open the map because the thing is you want to break open there so they can't just spawn trap you. You just need 1 gem, so let's just start using my gadgets now. Be a little bit careful though, just because Surge can do a lot of damage. I mean, my teammates are just playing excellent so far. I've not even had to do anything with Piper. May as well just use this, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't have to do anything. Again, I'm not saying that Piper's bad. I'm saying she's like a B, A-tier brawler, but people are like picking Piper in unnecessary situations where you just rather go a different mid. For example, in like gem grab, I would just rather go other brawlers, unless literally this was the perfect kind of draft for Piper. Like, I got a last pick Piper, which is where you want to play her. Everywhere else, you wouldn't really want to pick too early. She's too easily countered. You can get too much pressure unless you're literally one of the best players in the world and hit every single shot, which isn't going to happen. So yeah, I definitely think she's overrated by the majority. Let's hop into another. Okay, so jumping into the next overrated brawler on my list, I've actually gone with Eve. So this one's a little bit of a weird one because I saw teams like Crazy Raccoon, for example, play a lot of Eve during World Finals, and I never understood it. I think that's definitely a weak link in their draft overall because against good players, Eve is just so hard to hit consistent shots with. Like, I get Eve can float over water. But now she's starting to lose what made her just useful in the first place, right? You've now got RT that can go over water. You've got Angela, of course, just a way better version. You've got Juju. You've got all of these brawlers and mechanics that are just starting to replace Eve, and she's just getting worse and worse in the meta. So I thought this was actually a good place for Eve in this game, because I'm up against RT and Jean. They're both 2 single shot brawlers where my hatchlings can get a lot of value. And again, if you're playing against bad players, you're not really going to feel like Eve is a bad brawler. But good players, you know, Eve's shot is just so slow. It's so hard to get consistent damage against good players. And again, Eve can easily get overwhelmed. You know, she misses a couple of shots, she's forced all the way back into spawn. She doesn't actually have that great damage output. And her hatchlings, I think, are pretty overrated. Like, I've just started to not even use quadruplets anymore because it doesn't actually get the pressure that I thought it once used to get. So yeah, Eve is definitely falling off a lot. And again, I think of so many maps where there's a bunch of water. You know, I think of like Out in the Open. I think of Kaboom Canyon. And I just wouldn't go Eve. I think there's so many better brawlers that have better hypercharges. They're just more consistent, can get more control. I just don't know what she's really that great at. Here's me waffling, right? And we're just walking through the opponents. And I don't think I actually died, which is a weird thing. But again, I just don't ever draft Eve. And if I see the opponent draft Eve, I just laugh, because I know I can take that lane for free. I can just open my eyes, juke, move forward, gain control of the map, and she has no pressure. So yeah, Eve, I absolutely think is overrated. Unfortunately, my stats don't do that justice, but let's jump into the next one. Okay, so jumping into the final overrated brawler on my list. I know you guys got to think I'm just memeing, but I actually think it's Kit, okay? I know, like, even before World Finals, I just had this annoyance with Kit, okay? So the reason why I don't like Kit is because I saw a bunch of pros. I know Heist as well, yeah, okay, Juan Carlos, ha. Okay, yeah, I understand, okay, it is a funny meme. Oh, okay. I was too focused on waffling there. But yeah, anyways, with Kit, the annoyance with me is that people are starting to play a lot of Kit outside of Knockout and Bounty, and Kit is just not good outside of Knockout and Bounty, because Kit is like a cheese brawler. I think bad players will often forget about Kit. You know, Kit's got a funny invisible gadget. Yeah, they just forget to check their corners a lot of time, which they did in the first round. Not this one. They definitely knew this one. But Kit is just a synergy brawler. It can only be good with like Daryl and Miko, Mortis, etc. So yeah, I don't know. I just think the pros were like playing Kit on like Open Business, like Hot Zone, Heist, Gem Grab. I just found it really like, I don't know, I personally just found it lazy. Like, the reason why they did that, they just wanted to make it as chaotic as possible. And yeah, I don't even know why I'm jumping on them, to be honest. It just doesn't work. And again, you just need synergy. You can't just pick Kit like this, for example. Although you literally missed it, I destroyed everybody in the first set, and that is why they're grouping up. They're not making that mistake again whatsoever. So I might just go on like the deep flank here and just hope they don't. Okay, yeah, maybe the Gus realizes, but I'm just going to jump on the Gus and hope his teammates don't help him. Okay, let's go with the RT here. Can my teammates help? I think they should be able to clutch this, right? And there we go. So I know the reasoning for the pros for going Kit is that they want to make it, especially if you time your jumps right. Of course, you can just confirm kills pretty easily, but you do also leave yourself very vulnerable when you go for kills with Kit. I just don't think it's worth it most of the times. Yeah, you might be able to confirm a kill, but then after that, what can you really do with Kit? Kit's all about synergy with Daryls and etc. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. We actually leave this video top 50 in the world, which is pretty good. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.